Yo, what's good, everybody? We're just gonna run through this trade right now. Look at the trade I did not take because I thought it was a little bit lower probability. Standards, I just want to pass on this, right? But overall, bro, this is a sweet setup, right? I just want to run through this, look at why I thought this was good, why we could have taken out all those things, right? So, bigger time frame, right? We're opening the market after sweeping this huge sell side level, right? We're dead ass, like literally market open has this, right? This is no setup for anything. We need more information. And this is what I said to myself. I'm like, hey, there's a large chance I don't take a trade today until I see more information, right? So what's that more information, right? I need to see some price action post 9:30 to kind of show me where the markets are manipulating and where the new draw could potentially be, right? So with that bigger time frame bearish bias, even though we swept sell side, there's a big chance that we do continue lower because we have these draws lower here and we have standard deviation levels, a lot of different things that could potentially confluence us to look for lower in our bigger time frame bearish model, right? So now zoom into the day. What do I need to look for, right? If we're bearish, I need to look for number one, a pullback. Then I need to look for confirmation that what I decided was that pullback is actually manipulation. And then I need to wait for smart money reversal. And then I can insert myself with confirmation, which is my smart money reversal confirmations of inverse change, SMT, all those things, right? 950 macro. I get all those things. And then I can trade towards the bigger time frame draw and I can make a nice big move like this, right? So what is happening today, right? So if we look around market open, we literally, and I had this thesis, and I'll show you as the paper trade I took. But I had this thesis that on open, we would definitely bounce from these levels, right? This was 0.25 of a weekly wick, right? Which usually I'm not really marking that shit out, but I just thought this one was pretty clean and I wanted to utilize it. So right here, this was our next level in the wick if we wanted to manipulate into it and use it as support. So what we see on open is we manipulate lower. By the way, like you don't need to see this shit. Like you don't need to have that daily or that weekly wick on there, bro. But once we do, we tap that, right? Then we run higher. What is our confirmation that we're going to run higher? We don't have a lot of bigger time frame confirmation, but we have lower time frame confirmation. And that lower time frame confirmation was this change in the state plus this inverse. So what I take on paper trading is, I'm not sure if I can pull it up here. I took a small stab long, and this shit was actually bugging. This is the first time I've ever seen paper trade bug. Yeah, look right here. I take a little stab to the upside, and I get out after we come back, but I'm not really sure. I think it was just the order was bugging. This is what I'm looking to do, right? I'm probably most likely looking to take this trade right here, break even at this high, which I think is what I did, and then I get stopped to break even, looking for this to run to here, and then maybe even to equilibrium of this bigger time frame range, which I'm pretty sure, let's check, we do end up tapping right here, or 0 OTE, whatever it ends up being, right? So looking at this now, what do we need to see, right? Price has officially pulled away, right? Because look at where we are just at this moment, right? After we see this play out, we're all the way up here, right? So if we're bearish, we need to wait for the manipulation, right? That manipulation is just a move away from the draw, right? So draw is lower, right? Bigger time frame draw is lower. We need to wait for move away. Now we need to confirm that move away, this whole move is manipulation. How can we recognize that? Through a couple different things of understanding how the market's setting itself up, right? Watching, we have generated liquidity, right? Where we're pulling back to this high. Where else are we pulling back to? Equilibrium of this full range right here. Actually a pretty nice tap right there. Equilibrium of this full range right here, nicely tapped. And then if you look at NQ, we pull back right to OTE. We hold this very well. The 5-minute does not like to close within here. We make some sort of SMT up here, even though this isn't really my favorite SMT. It's still there, right? This is a 5-minute order block, I believe. Pulling back to all these things, right? It's a good show that the market should now be bearish, right? And even then, that's only an idea. So what do I have to wait for now to confirm that? Right? I need to wait for my lower time frame confirmation. That is a smart money reversal. How can we get that confirmation? Through these tools that are quantifications of the smart money reversal, right? So what is that, right? That's the change in the state, right? That's an inverse fair value gap that wasn't here, which is a big reason why I didn't take this trade. Things like an SMT, which was here, but not the best. And other things like all these different tools, right? That's how we spot our smart money reversals. Go watch ICT if you don't understand these. Pretty much just how do we spot a reversal, right? All these different things. So checking these out, right? This ends up being the trade after I see these quantification, all that stuff, right? That's when I'm looking to get involved. Where do I get involved? um two types of trades, right? If we're gonna run very fast and place in a fair value gap, I'm most likely just going to market order this, right? Get involved wherever the current order is, even if it's like down here, I'll just set a little bit of a tighter stop, because if we have that much momentum, we're probably not going to pull back and we're probably going to run. So a tighter stop is okay, right? However, days like this where I think the model is confirmed, right? However, I'm wanting to wait for more. I'm waiting till we kind of get past this and how we're dancing around this, right? We're using this change of the state as a level of resistance. Look how none of our candles close above it, and every single like 4 of these candles wicks it, right? That's where I'm waiting. And after I probably see this down candle right here, that's why I'm getting involved in that change. Um, Most likely to play stop at the high because once again, this isn't as momentumness. It doesn't have enough, or it doesn't have as much momentum. So I'm not looking to go tender stop because there's a good chance we get stopped and it continues without us. And then from there, this is one thing that I'll explain in a second, but entering here, targeting here, right? Why is that? Because that is the market maker model low. If you don't understand market maker models, go watch ICT, go watch whoever can teach them well. I teach them pretty well in some of my videos. Pretty sweet stuff right here. Looking for this market maker model to continue. Very simple, right? Why do I choose to go break even here? And this goes back to our very simple thesis, right? When we were talking about how on the bigger time frame, we're looking to confirm if this is manipulation. We need to see our smart money reversal and all of our confirmations that it is one, right? A good thing, right? That on our 5 minute, while we might be, you could make a case that we're bullish because maybe we have a change in the state, right? We have a fair value gap right here. What is going to show me, and what is a trait of a bullish versus a bearish market, right? A bullish market is going to be placing in these 5 minutes, right? Which we did, these 5 minute fair value gap, it places it in, right? And when it comes back to them, it will most likely hold them and then continue higher, right? That's a bullish market. A bearish market might place in a bullish fair value gap, it might not, but whenever it does, it's most likely going to run those fair value gaps to confirm that we are going to be bearish and go in line with that bearish bias, right? So what does this market do? This market manipulates higher, and now we have that 5 minute placed in, right? So if we are going to run that fair value gap, we should do it fast and we should not retrace heavily once we get into it, right? So if our 5 minute fair value gap is right here, this is where I'm going break even, because once price taps in, I don't want to see us do anything like this, right? Where we play around, right? This might come all the way up, top us out, and then go, or it could go like this, right? Just play around a little bit and then run it. Either of those two, I don't want to be in that position because it's inefficient. The only position I want to be in is the one like this where it just dumps, right? So that's why I'm going break even fast there, and I'm able to protect myself a lot, get rid of a lot of losses, right? So overall, that's the trade recap, right? Why do I not take this? I did not like that we don't have an inverse here. I really liked everything else, like seriously, everything else about the setup I loved. I just did not like that we didn't have an inverse. And I think that's completely fine, right? Because, geez, bro, my nose is clapped. As we mature as traders, bro, you have to become comfortable. And this is a lesson that God will teach you at some point. You have to become comfortable letting these things go, letting opportunities go. If you're already green on the week, you don't need to trade, bro. If a trade isn't perfect, it's not, if it's not calling your name, dog, let it go, bro. It's not grasping to you, right? That's what God is testing you with, right? If you're going to be a follower of Christ, if you're going to be a follower of the perfection, bro, you have to be able to look at these opportunities and say, this is not good enough for me, and it doesn't honor God by me stooping to the level of this setup and taking it. Because then you go back to your old self who wanted to catch every single move in the market, your old self who just traded for money, your old self who did all these things that you are deciding not to do now, right? So by taking the setup, it does puts you back into that old identity. So change your setups, change the things you do, and you'll move into a new identity of a profitable trader. So that's why I didn't step into the setup today. Is it an issue for me to not take the setup? I really don't think so. Always gonna have great opportunities, and especially now that we're returning from all-time highs, bro. The market's always gonna provide opportunities at least once or two times a week, bro. So it's like, bro, you really don't need to be trading this shit every single day, dog. Like, if you miss an opportunity, bro, there's no problem. If you get one trade a week, bro, there is no problem in the world. Just chill out and listen, bro. Just listen to what you know is right and only trade the best things, bro. So definitely let you guys go. Thank you for showing up, investing in yourself, learning a little bit more. Keep in touch with me, learning how I'm trading. I'm sure it's helping a lot of you guys out, right? Because a lot of the stuff I'm trading is very, very confluence and very simple stuff that many people do trade. Like, obviously, like, these recaps are helpful to any single trader because this is how the market works, bro. This is all the shit that we've been covering. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys learned it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some shit, and I'll catch y'all later. So peace out.